When you're first diagnosed with cancer and you start having treatment, your life is turned upside down.
Your normalcy becomes focused on the treatment and how to deal with the disease.
You never know when it's going to end, and you don't know if you're going to survive. I was a petroleum engineer. I just had been married three or 4 years. I just had a little boy, and he was a little over a year old, and life was good. I was in my early 30s and had a good life ahead of me and very active and enjoyed life. It started very subtle. I itched, and it took about 6 months before I realized that something was really wrong, and I would just have pools of sweat. A dermatologist locally decided to take a chest x-ray, and the next day I went into the doctor, and the chest x-ray that the dermatologist had ordered showed a tumor the size of my fist. It was Hodgkin's lymphoma. I knew then. I told my husband, I said, I'm sick. I took Stanford 5 protocol for 13 weeks of chemotherapy and 5 weeks of radiation.
If Aimee wanted to get the job done, boom, get in, get out.
We went on to try several other treatments, but within months these treatments started failing.
We're not sure what we're going to do next. Those words are definitely not something you want to hear from a doctor.
And at that particular point we came to the conclusion that, things are not going to work out, and we need to look for a more permanent solution.
The next step was stem cell transplant.
I had a 40% chance of surviving the transplant, whether or not it cured cancer or not. Those were the chances.
Aimee was afraid she wouldn't return home, that the thought of the stem cell transplant was terrifying. The doctors didn't make it sound like a very easy process. They made it sound like it, in itself, the stem cell transplant was a dangerous procedure, and she was worried she wouldn't come back to see her child again.
I ended up on a donor list, had an allogeneic transplant from a donor transplant in April of 2005.
After the whole stem cell transplant process and failure of that, we followed different drugs.
I kept trying every new clinical trial because I enjoyed living too much.
To try every new drug within 3 months and to find that every new drug you're trying is just not working makes you look right at the face of death.
Sometimes you get really tired, and when you get tired of fighting, then you really lose the battle.
And then she came across the SGN35.
When I found out that I was possibly an SGN35, it was the first type of targeted therapy. I was excited.
As soon as she got onto the clinical trial, it was realized that she did not have any more itching, and that was the first indication that she was responding to the treatment.
I stopped itching within 4 days.
I remember when Aimee came to me and she goes, I'm not itching, Michael, it's working.
For me, I had no side effects, and I never did.
Aimee's disease is considered in remission. It has, I think they call it clinical remission.
I have been without symptoms for a year and a half, and I've had a clean PET scan for over a year.
I think the difference between SGN35 and the other treatments that Aimee has gone through are night and day, complete opposites.
She has no symptoms, looks wonderful, is active, continues to enjoy her life, and I think that the fact that the drug has caused no toxicity to her and allowed her to enjoy her life is very empowering to her.
This experience has taught me to never give up hope, to never give up on your body, My life is great. I can run, I can go to all of my exercise classes, I can go to my son's school, I can plan to do activities with him. I do anything that I want to do because I feel normal.
This is wonderful. This is the best thing that we've seen in the last 7 years. This is how science should be.
I can now plan 5 years down the road. And 3 years ago, I could only live for tomorrow. And that's huge for me.
I hope that we can live to be old great-grandparents and have a wonderful life and travel, see the world, see our grandkids, see our son grow up and become whatever he wants to be, and have his mother there with him the whole time.
The results speak for itself. It's been 1.5 years since I've itched. I think I'm cured. I have a strong sense of, okay, I'm gonna make it.